Hello and welcome to Michelle's Life on Repeat. I am so glad you are here. Today I wanted to talk a little bit more about hemiplegic migraines. Some people have asked me if I could maybe talk a little bit more about migraines, so I will do that. For those of you who love orchids and come before the orchids, there we are. There's your orchid for today in Miltoniopsis from the grocery store. I want to say welcome to those of you who are new. I am Michelle. I have chronic illness, and the primary diagnosis that really ties me up on a day-to-day basis is chronic migraines. I get a lot of them. And in that category, there are multiple types of migraines that I experience, one of them being hemiplegic migraines. The other chronic illnesses that I struggle with, they're really bearable. I mean, I have them under control, and when they show up, I just kind of know what to do. But all encompassing is the migraines. It's a daily, unpredictable thing that I don't have a whole lot of control over, but I do have I do have control over some of the situations that I know will trigger my migraines. So there's a mouthful, but welcome to the channel. Let's dissect what it means to have hemiplegic migraines. It's considered a rare form of migraines, and granted, all of the information I'm sharing with you is a collaboration from around the World Wide Web of information, from focus groups and support groups that I'm in, from the internet searches, from the doctors and the neurologists and the rheumatologists, and all of the information that is out there in the world. But I do understand that for some people it's hard to grasp your mind around medical terminology while you're in the midst of going through it. And it's a little bit easier when a friend shares with you versus when a doctor shares with you. So that's why I just wanted to give a little recap. It is a rare form of a migraine because it involves a paralysis or a weakness of a muscle, generally on one side of your body, hemi being divided. Hemiplegic migraines for me affect my left side, and for others they affect the right side. And for those of you lucky ones out there, sometimes it even switches from the right to the left. You just never know. That is one of the most frustrating things with hemiplegic migraines. You just don't know when they're coming. You don't know how long they'll last. You don't know if the same experiences you had the last episode will be exactly the same in this next episode. So there's always that alertness that what happens if it comes and it comes in a different form? Will I recognize it? Will my friends, will my coworkers, will the medical staff take me seriously? It's very frustrating. But hemiplegic migraines will affect the muscles, and it will weaken them or completely paralyze them. And that usually will start in the aura phase. You know, when you have a migraine, those of you that have migraines, you know there's the different phases. The I'm getting ready to have a migraine aura phase, the oh crap, I've got the head pain phase, the I'm getting through it, everything else is shifting through it and it's coming to an end maybe phase. And then there's that day after, or 2 days or 3 days after, where you're wiped out like a car ran over you and you are rebuilding your body, your brain cells, your energy all back up again. But going back to hemiplegic migraines, the aura phase will be affected by paralysis or weakness in a muscle group or the whole left side. It could be that for some of you. It could just be one arm, one hand, one leg. And I won't share my experiences right now, just to keep the video at a shorter clip here. I noticed that viewers don't like it when I talk really long. So the difference is that on top of getting the head pains, you will experience auras, which one has to involve paralysis or weakness of a muscle group. You will also most likely experience auras in your taste, your smell, your sense of hearing, your sensitivity to light, your ability to concentrate. Your cognitive ability goes out the window sometimes, and you are left kind of at times babbling. Blah, blah, blah. You're thinking straight thoughts, but they won't come out of your mouth correctly. Cognitively, you all messed up like in a blender. So hemiplegic migraines come in two ways, two forms. There is the classification of familia. Well, the one that passes down from one generation to the next is called familia. I'll put those words up on the screen. The one where you may be the one of in your family and no one else has it is called sporadic. And it doesn't mean that your migraines are going to be any less intense than those who have it in the genetic generations before you. And sporadic doesn't mean that it's just one of every once in a while. You can get one every once in a while from being on the familial side as well as being on the sporadic side. So you have the ones classified from the generations before you or after you that would have also this migraine condition, or you are the first one diagnosed with it. How they treat you would be exactly the same. It's not something that really has to be dissected, processed. It won't affect how you are treated. It will affect maybe if you're wanting to have children and you're aware that it's passed down from generation to generation. Those would be considerations for you if you have it bad enough that you may not want to pass that on. Those are all personal choices, not mine. I am just merely sharing with you that there are the two categories: genetically passed down, and you're the one of first of the genetic line starting it. And how they are treated are similar, if not identical. There are ways to take your DNA and extract your blood and do all those gene testings that will tell you if you have one of the 4 genes that right now the medical science is able to say these are common in people who have hemiplegic migraines. There's 4 genes. I'll put them up on a little screen or flip the words by because I can't remember all them all. They're the CANs and this, that. They're little nerve endings that are receiving information and passing on information and absorbing different calcium, potassium, sodium channels in your nerve endings that are absorbing information to help your nerves flow the way they're supposed to. Well, those of us we know with migraines, our nerves are not flowing correctly. We are getting the overload in our nervous system that are triggering our migraines. Right now, there is 4, like I said, 4 genes that have been identified. You can spend the money because insurance in America doesn't always cover the cost of gene testing. So you might end up spending lots and lots of money to find out if you have those 4 genes that are affected. Or you may never do genetic testing, and that is okay because the outcome is really similar. The benefits of having gene testing, I think, would be that you help contribute to the information pool for migraine research for generations to come. And when you get those testings, there's more of a pool of people to compare with, and that helps medical research. But they are not all the genes that cause migraines. They are just 4 that have been found in some hemiplegic migraine sufferers. So don't worry if you can't afford genetic testing. I can't afford genetic testing, and right now it is not something I need. You and your doctors discuss whether that is needed or not. If you're one of those people that like to know everything and have peace about stuff, go for it. But in the big scheme of things, genetic testing right now is not going to be that helpful in finding and diagnosing how to treat you with hemiplegic migraines. There are a variety, a realm of treatment plans out there for those of us who are migraineurs, and even if we're chronic migraineurs, or we have 6 different types of migraines, or we have just hemiplegic migraines. Generally, your doctors will start you in the same platform, and that is they will have you try the lowest dose of something and work your way up to all the gamuts of things. And they usually start with the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory Advils, acetaminophen, that kind of stuff. And so you kind of are all on the same playing field, whether you have had genetic testing or not. One of the things that genetic testing, if you know you have these genes, they can help you with is maybe honing in on a certain medicine that will work best for you, your chemistry. But I say, if you never got the testing, your doctor and you are going to be working through a variety of medicines. The first ones usually will never be the last ones that you try. The first ones will work a little bit, but not completely. Sometimes you add a second one in, sometimes a third one. Sometimes you have to combine some things. They generally start you off, like I said, on the generic low-level anti-inflammatory medicines, and then they bracket you up into different tiers of medicine that help target migraines. One being triptans, and those are highly controversial between you and your doctor and the whole migraine community, whether you should ever use a triptan if you have hemiplegic migraines. For me personally, I cannot use any triptan. It will trigger me to go into a deeper hemiplegic migraine and seizures. So I just don't go there. We don't go there. It's marked on my medical ID band. If you don't ever have one of these yet, a medical ID band is very helpful, because when you are in the throes of it and you can't talk, it helps others to know what might be going on with you. Mine I get from Road ID, and it just fits right on my regular watches. So I love that. But your medicines will be tailored to what your body responds to well and not well. So it is always going to be a trial and error. And I'm a betting girl. I like to say, well, this didn't work, I'm going to try that, because I want to have the most fulfilling life that I can without the migraines, especially the hemiplegic ones, taking me down for days, weeks, and months. That is just a really short overview. I'm looking at my clock and it's 12 minutes and I tried to talk fast. But hemiplegic migraines, to wind it all up, there is more that I will share with you in future videos, maybe about the different triggers that set yours off as hemiplegic migraines are they're big. There's a vast amount of topics to discuss in them. So I'll make some more videos. We'll talk about the triggers. We'll talk about treatments. We'll talk about medicines. We'll talk about devices that are invasive internally to your body. We will just figure it out together. But if you are enduring hemiplegic migraines, I wish you blessings and peace. And I know that in the midst of it, it is a storm of chaos. And when you're out of it, you're able to look back and go, oh, okay, we survived that. And I totally get you when you are thinking this thought of, yeah, but I don't know when it's coming back again. And I just say to you, don't let fear and anxiety rule your thoughts. The what ifs will never end if you entertain them. I know that when a hemiplegic migraines come, it may not look anything like the last one I had. It may be completely different. I may end up in the ER. I may end up in a car accident. I don't know. But I can't dwell on the what ifs. And my hemiplegic migraines are pretty well maintained in that I don't have them monthly. They are they are random when they do come. They come out of the blue and they knock my feet out from under me, and I go, wait a minute, I thought I was over these, or I thought we mastered that. And nope, when it shows up, it just shows up. So don't give yourself worry and fear about the what ifs, but work on what can. What can I do? What can I do to give me a better mindset? What can I do to relax my body more? What can I do to educate myself some more? And I want you to know you're not alone. And there are others of us out there who have hemiplegic migraines, and it is just one prayer, one breath, one step at a time, and we get through to the next day. And with that, I will wish you wellness and peace, and we will talk again. Until that happens, bye-bye.